You have to really make sure that whatever pose that you choose, you're gonna be able to carry that out. And you have to make sure that you have prepared for it. Maybe do some stretching or some yoga or something. So say you're in a 25-minute pose. You have to really make sure that whatever pose that you choose, you're gonna be able to carry that out. And you have to make sure that you have prepared for it. Maybe do some stretching or some yoga or something, make sure you're hydrated, because, when you're in a certain pose for an extended period of time, things will go numb, it happens, or you'll just basically, eventually start to feel a little uncomfortable, which is expected and it's normal because you're maintaining a pose for a longer period of time. So yeah, just be prepared for that, because sometimes you don't want to hurt yourself, but whatever you are capable of and the artist asks and it's not hurting yourself, eventually it can get uncomfortable, but it's perfectly normal. I think another definite do is to make sure that you bring little snacks with you in between. You don't want your stomach growling in between the sessions when people are drawing, and also it keeps you awake and alert. Another part is being hydrated. You have to be able to stay alert and maintain focus and be comfortable doing it. So snacks and water are essential. Coffee, sometimes. I've made the mistake of drinking too much coffee, and then people want to draw my hands and my hands are really shaky. So try not to drink too much caffeine beforehand. If you need it to kind of keep you alert, just do it moderately, because you have to be able to stand still and you don't want to be too jittery. But yeah, definitely it's important to being able to take snacks with you and have that little in-between time. Eye contact can be awkward, and it's usually not a good idea to have eye contact with the artist or the student unless the artist requests it, because it's just really uncomfortable to begin with. And also, they're trying to do their job and you're trying to do your job, and you want to be as comfortable as possible. You don't want to, and then they're going to be moving. So, you don't want to just sort of sit somewhere and be staring somebody in the eyes. It does happen though, if somebody arrives late, you can, be looking at your, at a certain point, at a focal point, and they'll come in and they'll sit in front of you, which has happened. And you kind of lose your point, and you will end up making eye contact if they sit right there in front of you. So just kind of be prepared for that. But I usually, if that happens, will carry out my session, but prefer, not to, because it is uncomfortable, and it's not generally, something that either the artist or the model wants. There's no real training involved for being an art model. You just have to know what you're going into. So, for example, when I started art modeling, I asked around. I asked some people that I knew who were art models, and I prepared myself for what to expect, and a lot like what I'm telling you today, what the do's and don'ts are, what to bring with you and stuff. So there's no specific training. You just have to do your own research, make sure you're prepared, and go into it with those expectations as to what your knowledge is already. Sometimes unexpected things will happen because you're human. I've had my nose run whilst I'm modeling, or I've had a leg cramp, or I've had I've sneezed in the middle of my pose.